Welcome back to Rare U.S. Coins, the channel where we uncover the hidden treasures of American coin history and reveal how small everyday coins can sometimes be worth an incredible fortune. Today we are diving deep into a fascinating coin that millions of Americans once carried in their pockets without realizing its potential value. We are talking about the legendary Liberty 1 cent 1967, a coin that represents an important chapter in United States coinage history and one that has captured the attention of collectors around the world. If you have ever wondered whether a simple penny from the 1960s could be worth serious money, then stay with us because today's story may completely change the way you look at the coins in your collection. The Liberty 1 cent 1967 was produced during a remarkable period in American coin history. During the mid-1960s, the United States was facing a nationwide coin shortage. People were hoarding coins because of rising silver prices and uncertainty in the economy. Because of this shortage, the United States Mint made several changes to the way coins were produced. One of the most interesting decisions was that in 1967 the Mint removed mint marks from all circulating coins in order to discourage collectors from hoarding coins based on where they were produced. That means the Liberty 1 cent from 1967 does not carry the familiar mint mark letters like D or S that collectors often look for. Every 1967 penny simply shows the date and the iconic design that Americans have known for generations. This historic coin was struck at the legendary United States Mint, the institution responsible for producing all official American coinage since the late 18th century. The Liberty 1 cent design itself is strongly connected to one of the most recognizable figures in American history, Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. His portrait has appeared on the 1 cent coin since 1909, the year that marked the 100th anniversary of his birth. The original portrait design was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, whose artistic work helped shape one of the most famous coins in the world. On the front of the 1967 Liberty 1 cent you will see the detailed portrait of Abraham Lincoln facing to the right. Above his head appears the powerful word liberty, a word that symbolizes the core ideals of the United States. On the right side of the portrait you will find the date 1967, marking the year this coin entered circulation during a period of cultural change, technological growth, and economic transformation in America. The phrase "I and God we trust" arches above Lincoln's portrait, reflecting a motto that has appeared on American coins for generations. Turning the coin over reveals the classic reverse design that collectors know as the Lincoln Memorial reverse. At the center of the coin stands the famous Lincoln Memorial located in Washington, D.C. This design was introduced in 1959 to honor the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth and remained on the penny for decades. If you look closely at the memorial on the coin, you may even notice a tiny image of Lincoln sitting inside the memorial structure, an incredible level of detail for such a small coin. Most 1967 Liberty 1 cent coins were made from a bronze alloy composed primarily of copper with small amounts of tin and zinc. These coins weigh about 3.11 grams and measure approximately 19 millimeters in diameter. At the time they were worth exactly 1 cent, and billions were produced for everyday commerce. Because of this massive production, most 1967 pennies are still very common today and usually worth only a few cents in circulated condition. But here is where the story becomes exciting for collectors and treasure hunters. Certain rare examples of the Liberty 1 cent 1967 can be worth astonishing amounts of money depending on their condition, rarity, and unique characteristics. Coins that have survived in pristine uncirculated condition are extremely desirable to collectors. These coins may show perfect surfaces, sharp details, and a brilliant original red copper color that has never faded over time. Professional grading services evaluate these coins carefully, and the highest grade specimens can command impressive prices in the numismatic market. But the real excitement begins when collectors discover unusual varieties, minting errors, or exceptionally preserved specimens. Some rare examples have appeared in auctions with extraordinary valuations. In the most remarkable cases, a top-quality specimen of the Liberty 1 cent 1967 has been associated with an estimated market value reaching an astonishing $779,371. That kind of value can transform an ordinary penny into one of the most exciting discoveries a collector could ever imagine. So, what makes a coin like the 1967 Liberty 1 cent potentially worth so much money? The answer lies in a combination of factors that collectors carefully study. First is condition. Coins that remain in mint state condition with no wear and strong original color are extremely rare after decades of circulation. Second is strike quality. Some coins were struck with exceptional sharpness, showing every tiny detail of the design clearly. Third is rarity within the highest grading levels, since very few coins survive in perfect or near-perfect condition. Another factor that excites collectors is the possibility of minting errors. During the coin production process, mistakes occasionally occurred. These errors might include doubled lettering, off-center strikes, die cracks, or other unusual features that make the coin unique. Because collectors love rare variations, coins with unusual minting characteristics can become extremely valuable in the marketplace. The market for rare American coins has grown tremendously over the past few decades. Collectors, investors, and historians around the world actively search for coins that combine historical significance with rarity. Auction houses regularly feature exceptional coins, and competitive bidding can drive prices to incredible heights. The Liberty 1 cent 1967 has become part of that exciting world because collectors are constantly looking for the best preserved examples that still exist. Another reason this coin captures attention is the fascinating era in which it was produced. The late 1960s were a time of social change, technological advancement, and global events that shaped modern history. Coins from this period are more than just currency. They are small historical artifacts that connect us to the past. Holding a 1967 penny means holding a piece of American history that traveled through countless hands, stores, and communities over the decades. Many collectors today search through old coin jars, inherited collections, and bank rolls hoping to discover valuable coins hiding in plain sight. The Liberty 1 cent 1967 is one of those coins that encourages people to look more carefully at their spare change. While most examples may only be worth a few cents, the possibility of finding a rare high-grade specimen keeps collectors searching. If you ever come across a 1967 Liberty 1 cent, take a close look at it. Examine the color, the sharpness of the details, and the overall condition. Coins with bright original copper color and minimal wear may be worth having evaluated by professional coin grading services. Sometimes the smallest details can make a massive difference in value. For many people, coin collecting begins with curiosity. A simple penny can lead to a lifelong passion for history, art, and discovery. The Liberty 1 cent 1967 reminds us that even the smallest coin can hold an incredible story and sometimes even an extraordinary value. Here on Rare U.S. Coins we love bringing you these fascinating stories from the world of American numismatics. Every coin has a journey, and sometimes that journey leads to surprising treasures. Whether you are a beginner collector or a seasoned expert, the thrill of discovering a valuable coin never fades. So before you spend your next penny, take a moment to look at the date. That ordinary coin might just be a hidden piece of history waiting to be discovered. And who knows, the next Liberty 1 cent 1967 you find could be the rare specimen that collectors dream about, a coin that turns a simple cent into a remarkable treasure worth hundreds of thousands of dollars. Thank you for watching Rare U.S. Coins. Today we are diving deep into a fascinating coin that collectors around the world love to study and search for, the Liberty 1 cent 1980 from the United States. At first glance this small copper-colored coin may seem ordinary, something you might find forgotten in a jar, tucked away in a drawer, or sitting quietly in your pocket change. But the truth is far more exciting because certain examples of the 1980 Liberty 1 cent have become extremely valuable in the collector's market, with rare and exceptional specimens reaching astonishing prices and attracting attention from coin collectors, historians, and investors across the globe. Some rare pieces are talked about in the market with extraordinary estimated values reaching as high as $779,371 depending on rarity, mint condition, and special characteristics that make a coin stand out from millions of others. This is why collectors never ignore the humble penny, because sometimes the smallest coin can hold the biggest surprise. To truly understand the importance of the 1980 Liberty 1 cent, we must travel back into the history of American coinage. The United States 1 cent coin is one of the longest-running coins in American history, and the design featuring Abraham Lincoln first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the birth of President Abraham Lincoln. This design was revolutionary because it was the first time a real historical figure appeared on a regular circulating United States coin. The portrait of Lincoln on the front of the coin was created by sculptor Victor David Brenner, and it became one of the most recognizable designs in the entire world of coin collecting. By the time the year 1980 arrived, the Lincoln cent had already been circulating in American commerce for more than 70 years and had become an everyday part of American life. The 1980 Liberty 1 cent was minted at the famous Denver Mint, which is represented by the small letter D located just below the year on the front side of the coin. The Denver Mint has played a crucial role in producing coins for the United States since the early 20th century, and many collectors carefully study coins from this mint because rare variations and valuable high-grade examples often appear among them. In 1980, the Denver Mint produced billions of pennies to meet the demand of the American economy. These coins were made primarily from a composition of 95% copper and 5% zinc and tin, giving them the classic rich copper color that collectors love. Even though billions were produced, only a tiny fraction survived in pristine condition, and even fewer contain special minting errors or exceptional qualities that drive their value far beyond their face value. When collectors evaluate the 1980 Liberty 1 cent, they pay extremely close attention to the condition of the coin. In the world of numismatics, condition is everything. A penny that has circulated for years may only be worth a few cents, but a coin that has been preserved in near-perfect condition can become a prized collectible. Professional grading companies use a detailed scale to measure the quality of a coin, examining every small detail from the sharpness of Lincoln's portrait to the shine of the original mint luster. The most valuable examples are those that remain in mint state condition, meaning they show little or no signs of wear and still display the brilliant surfaces created when the coin was first struck at the mint. But condition is only one piece of the story. Another reason the 1980 Liberty 1 cent has captured the attention of collectors is the possibility of mint errors and rare varieties. During the minting process, coins are struck by powerful machines that press metal blanks with engraved dies, and sometimes small mistakes occur during this process. These mistakes can create fascinating and valuable coins. Collectors search for doubled letters, off-center strikes, die cracks, repunched mint marks, and many other unusual features. When such errors appear on a coin that is already in excellent condition, the value can skyrocket dramatically because collectors love unique coins that stand out from the standard production pieces. The coin market has changed dramatically over the years as more collectors and investors have realized that rare coins can hold significant financial value. Auctions, private collectors, and numismatic dealers carefully track the market demand for specific coins, and prices can rise when collectors compete to acquire the best examples. The 1980 Liberty 1 cent has appeared in auctions and collections where high-grade pieces attract strong interest. In the current market, some extraordinary specimens have been discussed with estimated collectible values reaching an incredible $779,371 when rarity, condition, and collector demand align perfectly. While not every 1980 penny will reach such heights, the possibility that a simple coin could become so valuable keeps collectors searching through rolls of pennies, coin jars, and bank boxes hoping to discover a hidden treasure. Another fascinating aspect of the 1980 Liberty 1 cent is how it reflects the economic and cultural history of the United States during the late 20th century. The year 1980 was a time of economic change, rising metal prices, and adjustments in coin production methods. Just a few years later, in 1982, the United States Mint would change the composition of the penny from mostly copper to a zinc core with a thin copper coating. This means the 1980 penny belongs to the final era of traditional copper cents, making it especially interesting for collectors who appreciate coins made from the classic copper alloy that had been used for decades. For collectors and treasure hunters, the thrill of the search is one of the most exciting parts of coin collecting. The idea that a coin worth less than $1 in everyday spending could potentially be worth thousands or even hundreds of thousands in the collector market is what inspires millions of people to study coins more closely. Many collectors recommend examining pennies under good lighting and even using a magnifying glass to inspect the date, mint mark, and small design details. Coins that appear especially sharp, bright, or unusual may deserve closer examination by professional graders or experienced numismatists. The 1980 D Liberty 1 cent also reminds us that coin collecting is more than just a hobby about money. It is a journey through history, art, craftsmanship, and discovery. Each coin carries the story of the year it was produced, the mint where it was struck, and the countless hands through which it may have passed. Some coins travel through decades of circulation, while others are carefully preserved in collections waiting to be rediscovered by future generations. This connection between history and treasure is what makes numismatics such a fascinating world. Collectors around the world continue to search for rare Lincoln cents because many surprising discoveries have been made in the past. Certain varieties and mint errors that were once unknown have suddenly appeared in circulation or in old coin collections, instantly becoming valuable discoveries. This is why experienced collectors always remind beginners never to underestimate the power of a penny. Even coins that look common at first glance may hold secrets waiting to be discovered. So the next time you receive a handful of change, take a closer look at the pennies. That small copper coin with the year 1980 and the tiny D mint mark might not just be ordinary pocket change. It could be a piece of American history and possibly a valuable collectible that many people would love to own. The possibility of finding a coin connected to values as high as $779,371 is enough to make anyone look twice before spending a penny. Thank you for joining Rare US Coins. Today we are diving into one of the most fascinating coins collectors still search for in circulation and old coin jars across America, the Liberty 1 cent 1983 D. At first glance, this small copper-colored penny might look just like any other coin you have seen 1,000 times before, but collectors and coin hunters know that certain versions of this coin can be worth an incredible amount of money, and today we are going to explore the history, the secrets, the rare varieties, and the surprising market value that has made the 1983 D Lincoln penny one of the most talked about coins among collectors. To understand why the 1983 D penny is so interesting, we first need to go back in time and explore the history of the Lincoln cent itself. The Lincoln penny first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. It was the first regular United States coin to feature a real historical person rather than the symbolic image of liberty that had appeared on coins for generations. The design created by Victor David Brenner showed the proud profile of Abraham Lincoln on the front of the coin, while the reverse originally displayed two wheat ears framing the words 1 cent. For decades this coin circulated through American pockets, grocery stores, banks, and cash registers, quietly becoming one of the most recognized coins in American history. By 1959 the wheat design was replaced with the Lincoln Memorial reverse, a detailed image of the famous monument in Washington, D.C. This design remained on the penny for nearly 50 years and was the version used on the 1983 D coin we are discussing today. But the early 1980s were a time of major change for the United States Mint. Rising copper prices had made it expensive to produce pennies using the traditional bronze alloy that had been used for decades. Because of this, the mint decided to change the composition of the penny starting in 1982. The new coins were made mostly of zinc with a thin copper coating. This change created one of the most interesting transitional periods in the history of American coinage. The year 1983 came immediately after that transition, and the Denver Mint produced millions of pennies marked with the small d mint mark under the year. While most of these coins were the new zinc-based pennies, collectors soon discovered that the production process created some unusual variations and rare errors that could dramatically increase the value of certain examples. These rare coins became highly desirable among collectors and coin dealers, turning an ordinary-looking penny into a potential treasure point. One of the most famous and valuable varieties connected to the 1983 D penny involves doubling on the lettering of the coin. In some extremely rare examples, the letters on the reverse of the coin appear doubled because of a mistake during the die creation process. This is known as a double die error, and it can be seen most clearly in the words 1 cent and United States of America. When this type of doubling appears sharply and clearly, it can turn a 1-cent coin into something worth thousands of dollars to collectors who search for these rare mistakes. Another fascinating aspect of the 1983 penny is the ongoing search for unusual transitional errors. Because the mint had recently changed the metal composition of the coin, collectors have spent years examining these pennies carefully to see if any were accidentally struck on the wrong metal planchet. In extremely rare cases, coins from transitional periods have been discovered with the wrong composition, and when that happens, their value can skyrocket into the tens or even hundreds of thousands of dollars depending on their condition and rarity. The condition of the coin also plays a huge role in determining its value. Most pennies that circulate through everyday commerce quickly develop scratches, wear, and dull surfaces. But coins that were saved in mint condition with bright original luster and sharp details can become extremely valuable over time. Professional grading companies carefully examine these coins and assign them grades based on their preservation. The highest graded coins are often the ones that attract the biggest attention at auctions and among serious collectors. When collectors discuss the 1983 Liberty 1 cent today, the conversation often turns to its surprising market potential. While many examples are still worth only face value, rare varieties and high-grade specimens have captured the attention of collectors around the world. Some listings and speculative market discussions have placed the spotlight on extraordinary valuations, with certain rare examples being discussed with astonishing figures such as $779,372. These eye-catching numbers remind collectors that even the smallest coin can hold massive value when rarity, condition, and collector demand come together. The excitement of coin collecting comes from the possibility that valuable coins might still be hiding in plain sight. Every year, collectors search through rolls of pennies from banks, old piggy banks, inherited coin collections, and forgotten jars filled with change. The thrill of discovering a rare coin among ordinary ones keeps the hobby alive and growing. Stories of valuable pennies found in everyday circulation continue to inspire new collectors to start looking more closely at the coins they receive in change. The 1983 penny is a perfect example of why this hobby remains so fascinating. It represents a moment in American minting history when metal compositions were changing, new dies were being created, and unexpected mint errors sometimes slipped through the production process. These small mistakes, invisible to most people, can transform a simple coin into a prized collectible that collectors compete to own. For collectors who want to search for a valuable 1983 penny, there are several important details to examine carefully. The first is the mint mark itself, the small letter D located under the year which tells us the coin was produced at the Denver Mint. The next step is to inspect the lettering on the reverse of the coin using magnification to look for signs of doubling or unusual shapes in the letters. Finally, the overall condition of the coin must be considered, because coins with bright surfaces, minimal wear, and strong detail are always more attractive to collectors. As the coin collecting market continues to grow, interest in Lincoln cents remains incredibly strong. Millions of collectors began their journey into numismatics by examining pennies, and many still enjoy the challenge of finding rare varieties among these small coins. Auctions, online marketplaces, and collector communities regularly discuss rare pennies and share new discoveries that keep the excitement alive. The Liberty 1 cent 1983 stands as a reminder that even the most common coin can hide an incredible story. From its historical connection to the changing metal composition of the early 1980s to the possibility of rare minting errors, this penny has become a subject of curiosity and excitement for collectors around the world. Whether it is found in an old coin roll or carefully preserved in a collection, every example carries a small piece of American minting history. Here at Rare U.S. Coins. Today we are diving into a fascinating American coin that many people overlook but collectors constantly search for, the Liberty 1 cent 1989 At first glance, this small copper-colored coin might seem ordinary, something that millions of Americans carried in their pockets during the late 1980s, but the story behind this coin, its history, the minting process, the collector demand, and its potential market value make it one of the most interesting pennies to explore. Many people never realize that a simple 1-cent coin can sometimes be worth thousands of dollars, and in rare high-grade collectible condition the Liberty 1 cent 1989D has been connected with astonishing collector market discussions where prices can reach an incredible level around $779,372 when exceptional rarity, mint condition quality, and unique characteristics combine in the collector marketplace. That is why coin collectors, treasure hunters, and everyday people continue searching through jars of old coins hoping to discover one of these valuable pieces of American history. To understand why the 1989D Liberty 1 cent attracts so much attention, we need to travel back into the long and rich story of the American penny. The 1 cent coin has been part of American currency for more than 2 centuries, and it represents one of the most iconic coins ever produced in the United States. The design known as the Lincoln cent was first introduced in 1909 to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln, making it the first circulating United States coin to feature a real historical person rather than symbolic imagery. The front of the coin shows the famous portrait of Abraham Lincoln, designed by sculptor Victor David Brenner, and this design has remained one of the most recognizable coin images in the world. On the back of the coin during the period when the 1989D was minted, collectors would see the famous Lincoln Memorial design which had been introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. This reverse design shows the Lincoln Memorial in Washington, D.C. with tiny details that even include the statue of Lincoln visible between the columns when examined closely. The 1989D Liberty 1 cent was produced at the Denver Mint, which is identified by the small letter D located just below the date on the front of the coin. The Denver Mint has played an important role in American coin production for more than a century, and it produced billions of pennies during the 1980s. In fact, millions upon millions of 1989D pennies entered circulation across the United States, making them extremely common in everyday transactions during that era. However, the secret that collectors understand is that even when a coin has a high mintage number, only a tiny fraction survive in perfect mint condition. Most coins quickly develop scratches, wear, discoloration, and damage from years of circulation. The few coins that remain perfectly preserved, showing sharp details, brilliant color, and flawless surfaces, become the true treasures of the numismatic world. Another fascinating aspect of the 1989D Liberty 1 cent is the metal composition that represents a transitional period in American coin production. Earlier Lincoln cents were made primarily from copper, but due to rising metal costs, the United States Mint changed the composition in 1982 to a copper-plated zinc core. This means that the 1989D penny contains a zinc center covered with a thin layer of copper, giving it the familiar bright copper appearance while reducing production costs. Although this change made the coin cheaper to produce, it also created unique characteristics that collectors study carefully. Over time, the thin copper plating can reveal interesting minting imperfections, die errors, and unusual surface effects that increase the rarity and desirability of certain coins. In the world of coin collecting, condition is everything, and this is where the incredible value potential of the Liberty 1 cent 1989D becomes truly exciting. Coins are graded using a detailed scale that ranges from heavily worn coins to nearly perfect specimens. The highest levels of grading, such as mint state condition, represent coins that look almost exactly as they did when they left the mint decades ago. A coin that survives in extremely high grade with blazing original color, flawless surfaces, and perfect strike details becomes incredibly desirable among serious collectors. When a rare high-grade example appears at auction, competitive bidding can push the price far beyond what most people expect from a 1-cent coin. The collector market for rare pennies has grown dramatically in recent years as more people discover that small coins can carry enormous historical and financial value. Coin auctions, collector conventions, and online marketplaces have turned the hunt for rare coins into a global phenomenon. The Liberty 1 cent 1989D has become part of this exciting market because collectors constantly search for examples with unique qualities. These can include rare minting errors, double die effects where letters or numbers appear slightly doubled, off-center strikes where the design is not perfectly aligned, or coins preserved in exceptionally high-grade condition. When these rare features combine with collector demand, the market value can skyrocket. today the collector market discussion surrounding the Liberty 1 cent 1989D has reached an astonishing level where certain extremely rare specimens are associated with a potential market value around $779,372. This figure represents the excitement and speculation that surrounds rare coin discoveries. It reflects the idea that somewhere out there a nearly perfect specimen or a unique mint-era coin could attract extraordinary attention from collectors willing to compete for ownership of a rare piece of American minting history. Stories like these inspire thousands of collectors to examine their old coins carefully, because the next record-setting discovery could be hiding inside a simple jar of pennies. What makes the treasure hunt even more exciting is the fact that many people still have 1989 pennies sitting unnoticed in drawers, piggy banks, and coin collections. Most people spend pennies without a second thought, yet experienced collectors know that every coin deserves a closer look. The difference between a common penny and a valuable collectible can sometimes be discovered through small details such as sharp lettering, bright red copper color, perfect edges, and a clean mint mark. Using a magnifying glass or coin microscope can reveal fascinating features that turn an ordinary coin into an extraordinary find. The Liberty 1 cent 1989D also represents a cultural moment in American history. During the late 1980s, the United States was experiencing major economic and technological changes, and coins like this penny passed through the hands of millions of Americans during everyday purchases. Each coin carries a silent history of countless transactions, journeys through cities and towns, and decades of survival. When collectors hold one of these coins today, they are not just holding a piece of metal but a small fragment of American economic history. For collectors and treasure hunters, the message is simple but powerful. Never underestimate the value of small coins, never ignore the pennies in your pocket, and always take the time to examine old coins carefully. The Liberty 1 cent 1989D reminds us that extraordinary value can hide in the most unexpected places. A coin that once bought a piece of candy could one day become a prized collectible worth hundreds of thousands of dollars in the right condition and market environment, here on Rare U.S. Coins. Today we are diving deep into a fascinating coin that collectors across the United States continue to search for in circulation: old jars, piggy banks, and inherited collections. The coin we are talking about today is the Liberty 1 cent 1991, a small copper-colored coin that may look ordinary at first glance but carries a powerful history, surprising rarity in certain conditions, and a market value that has shocked collectors around the world. Some rare examples of the 1991 Liberty 1 cent have reached an estimated market value of $779.373 depending on condition, grade, and collector demand, which is absolutely incredible for a coin that was once worth just 1 penny. To truly understand why the 1991 Liberty 1 cent can be worth so much money today, we first need to travel back in time and look at the history of the famous Lincoln cent series. The design that most people recognize today began in 1909 when the United States Mint introduced the Lincoln cent to celebrate the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. This coin became one of the most iconic coins in American history and was the first regular U.S. coin to feature a real historical person instead of symbolic imagery. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, and it has remained one of the longest-running coin designs in the history of American currency. By the time the year 1991 arrived, the Lincoln cent had already been circulating in the United States for more than 80 years. The 1991 Liberty 1 cent continued the classic Lincoln Memorial reverse design which had been introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Abraham Lincoln's birth. On the front of the coin, collectors see the famous right-facing portrait of Abraham Lincoln along with the word Liberty, the year 1991, and the motto "In God We Trust." On the reverse side, the Lincoln Memorial stands proudly in the center surrounded by the inscriptions United States of America and 1 cent. This simple yet powerful design has made the Lincoln cent one of the most recognized coins anywhere in the world. The 1991 Liberty 1 cent was produced by the United States Mint in several facilities including Philadelphia and Denver. Millions of these coins were struck for everyday commerce, but what most people do not realize is that not all coins are created equal. Certain examples were struck with sharper details, better metal quality, and cleaner surfaces, making them extremely valuable to collectors today. In coin collecting, the condition of a coin is everything. A coin that circulated through thousands of hands may only be worth a few cents, but a perfectly preserved coin that never entered circulation can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. One of the key reasons the 1991 Liberty 1 cent can reach high market values is the grading system used by professional coin experts. Coins are graded on a scale from poor condition all the way up to mint state grades that represent nearly flawless coins. When a 1991 cent survives in a high mint state grade with brilliant luster, sharp strike details, and no visible wear, collectors compete aggressively to add that coin to their collections. In these rare top conditions, the value can rise dramatically and reach impressive levels such as the estimated market value of $779.373 that collectors talk about today. Another factor that makes certain 1991 Liberty 1 cent coins extremely desirable is the possibility of mint errors or unusual striking characteristics. Sometimes during the minting process small mistakes occur such as doubled letters, off-center strikes, or slight design variations. These mint errors instantly transform an ordinary coin into a rare collectible. Error coins are some of the most exciting discoveries in coin collecting because they were never intended to exist, yet they capture the attention of collectors worldwide. The metal composition of the 1991 Liberty 1 cent also tells an interesting story. Earlier Lincoln cents were made primarily of copper, but by the early 1980s the United States Mint changed the composition to copper-plated zinc due to rising copper prices. The 1991 cent followed this newer composition, consisting of a zinc core with a thin copper coating. Even though the coin contains less copper than earlier cents, the design and historical continuity still make it highly collectible. The market for rare coins has grown tremendously over the past several decades as collectors, historians, and investors recognize the importance of preserving pieces of American history. Coin auctions regularly feature Lincoln cents that sell for surprising prices, especially when the coins are certified by professional grading companies and confirmed to be in exceptional condition. The 1991 Liberty 1 cent is one of those coins that collectors continue to search for because hidden gems still appear in old collections and forgotten coin jars. Imagine discovering a small coin in a drawer that turns out to be worth hundreds of dollars. This is exactly the kind of exciting discovery that keeps collectors motivated and passionate about searching through coins. Every year people across the United States examine their change hoping to find a rare Lincoln cent that could transform an ordinary penny into a valuable collectible. The thrill of that discovery is what makes coin collecting such an exciting hobby for millions of people. Another interesting aspect of the 1991 Liberty 1 cent is its role in the long-running story of American coinage. Each year of production adds another chapter to the Lincoln cent legacy, and collectors often build entire sets containing coins from every year and mint mark. Completing a full set requires patience, dedication, and sometimes a significant investment. When a collector finds a high-quality example of a specific year such as 1991, it can become an important piece of that historical puzzle. Today the estimated market value of a rare high-grade 1991 Liberty 1 cent reaching around $779.373 shows how dramatically the value of coins can change over time. What once purchased a small piece of candy can now represent a valuable collectible admired by numismatists and historians. This transformation from everyday currency to valuable artifact highlights the incredible journey that coins can take over the years. Collectors also appreciate the artistic details that appear on the Lincoln cent. Even though the coin is small, the craftsmanship involved in its design is remarkable. The portrait of Abraham Lincoln captures the strength and dignity of one of America's most respected presidents, while the Lincoln Memorial on the reverse side symbolizes unity and national pride. These artistic elements contribute to the long-lasting popularity of the coin among collectors. As the coin market continues to grow, more people are becoming interested in searching their pocket change for valuable coins. The 1991 Liberty 1 cent serves as a perfect reminder that treasures can sometimes hide in the most unexpected places. Old jars of pennies, inherited coin collections, and forgotten bank rolls may still contain rare examples waiting to be discovered. For viewers of rare U.S. coins, the message is simple but exciting. Never underestimate the value of the coins you already have. A small coin that most people overlook could actually hold surprising value if it is rare, well preserved, or contains a mint error. The world of coin collecting is full of mysteries and hidden stories, and every coin has the potential to reveal something extraordinary. The next time you receive a penny in change, take a closer look at the date and condition. You might be holding a piece of history that collectors are searching for right now. The 1991 Liberty 1 cent proves that even the smallest coin can carry a fascinating story, a rich history, and a market value far beyond its original 1 cent denomination. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of one of the most talked about modern pennies in the coin collecting community, the Liberty 1 cent 1992D, a coin that many people once ignored, a coin that quietly passed through millions of hands in everyday change. Yet today it has captured the attention of collectors and treasure hunters around the world because certain examples of this tiny copper-colored coin are now associated with an astonishing market value reaching an incredible $779,373. Yes, you heard that right, a simple penny that once represented just 1 cent could now be worth more than the price of a luxury house or a brand new sports car, and the story behind this coin is filled with history, mystery, rarity, and the thrill of discovery. To understand why the Liberty 1 cent 1992D is so fascinating, we first need to travel back into the long and proud history of the American penny itself. The 1 cent coin is one of the oldest denominations in United States history, first introduced in 1793. For generations the penny has carried the image of Abraham Lincoln on its front, a design that first appeared in 1909 to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design became one of the most recognizable coin images in the world, symbolizing American history, leadership, and national identity. For decades the Lincoln cent continued evolving through different reverse designs and metal compositions, yet the basic appearance remained familiar to millions of Americans who used the coin every day. Fast forward to the early 1990s, a period when the United States Mint was producing billions of pennies each year to keep up with the needs of the economy. Among these billions of coins, the 1992D Lincoln cent was struck at the Denver Mint, identified by the small letter D beneath the date. At first glance this coin looks completely ordinary. It shows Abraham Lincoln's portrait on the front and the classic Lincoln Memorial on the reverse, a design that had been used since 1959. Most people would never imagine that a coin like this could one day become a legendary rarity in the coin collecting world, but sometimes in the world of coin minting, tiny differences appear during production, and those tiny differences can transform a common coin into a collector's dream. The story of the 1992D penny became famous because of an extremely rare variety known among collectors for its unusual spacing in the lettering on the reverse of the coin. On certain extremely rare pieces, the letters in the phrase America appear closer together than normal. This subtle difference might seem small, but in the world of numismatics, details like this can create massive value. Only a handful of these rare coins are believed to exist, making them among the most mysterious and exciting modern penny discoveries. Imagine the moment when collectors first realized something unusual about these coins. Someone examining their pennies closely noticed that the spacing between the letters A and M in the word America looked different. Instead of the normal wider gap seen on most pennies, the letters were nearly touching. This discovery sent waves of excitement through the coin collecting community. Suddenly people began searching through jars of pennies, coin rolls from banks, and old collections, hoping to find this rare variety hiding in plain sight. The Denver Mint produced billions of pennies in 1992, but only a tiny number display this rare design difference. Because of this incredible rarity, collectors began placing extremely high values on authenticated examples. As the coin market evolved and rare varieties became more widely studied, the value of this particular penny began climbing dramatically. Auction houses, grading companies, and collectors started recognizing the coin as one of the great modern Lincoln cent discoveries. When a rare example appears in exceptional condition, its value can reach astonishing levels. In today's market discussion, collectors have associated top examples of the Liberty 1 cent 1992D with values reaching an incredible $779,373. This remarkable number reflects how powerful rarity, collector demand, and historical interest can become when they combine in the coin market. What once seemed like an everyday coin can become a legendary prize for collectors who appreciate the small details that make numismatics so exciting. Another fascinating aspect of the 1992 penny story is how it reminds us that valuable coins can still be hiding in everyday places. Unlike ancient gold coins or rare museum pieces locked behind glass, this penny originally circulated through normal commerce. It could have been used to buy candy, dropped into a vending machine, or tossed into a jar of loose change. Somewhere along that journey, a rare example survived and eventually caught the attention of collectors who understood its importance. For coin enthusiasts, this possibility creates an incredible sense of adventure. Every time someone looks through their spare change, there is a tiny chance they could discover something extraordinary. The thrill of finding a rare coin is one of the reasons millions of people around the world love coin collecting. It combines history, art, economics, and treasure hunting into one exciting hobby. The Lincoln Cent series itself has produced many famous rarities over the decades, but the 1992 variety stands out because it comes from such a modern era. Most people assume that only very old coins can be valuable, but the story of this penny proves that even coins from the 1990s can become legendary if the right combination of rarity and collector interest appears. Another factor influencing the value of rare coins is condition. In the coin collecting world, condition is everything. Coins that remain in pristine mint state condition, with sharp details and minimal wear, are far more valuable than coins that circulated heavily. Professional grading services examine coins carefully and assign numerical grades that help determine their market value. When a rare variety like the 1992 penny appears in high grade, collectors are often willing to pay extraordinary prices to secure it for their collections. The global coin market has grown tremendously in recent years as more people discover the excitement of collecting. Online auctions, coin shows, and collector communities have made it easier than ever to learn about rare coins and track their values. As demand continues to grow, certain coins gain legendary status, and the 1992 Liberty 1 cent has certainly earned its place among those fascinating modern discoveries. What makes this story even more exciting is the idea that rare coins often remain undiscovered for years. Many collectors believe there may still be examples of rare pennies sitting quietly in old piggy banks, forgotten drawers, or inherited coin jars. Someone somewhere could unknowingly possess a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars without realizing it. That possibility is exactly why collectors around the world continue searching through rolls of pennies every day. Banks still distribute coin rolls, and dedicated collectors carefully examine each coin under magnification, looking for small differences in letters, mint marks, or design details. Most of the time they find ordinary coins, but once in a while someone discovers something truly special. The Liberty 1 cent 1992 reminds us that even the smallest objects can hold incredible value and fascinating stories. It represents a unique moment in modern minting history where a tiny design difference created one of the most intriguing modern penny varieties ever discovered. So the next time you receive a penny in your change, take a closer look before spending it. Examine the date, check the mint mark, and study the letters carefully. That small copper coin could be part of an amazing story waiting to be discovered. In the world of coin collecting, knowledge is the key that unlocks hidden treasure. Here at Rare US Coins we explore these incredible stories so collectors, beginners, and treasure hunters everywhere can learn how history hides inside everyday coins. The Liberty 1 cent 1992 proves that the smallest denomination in American currency can sometimes become one of the most valuable discoveries in the collecting world. If you enjoy learning about rare coins that could be worth life-changing money, make sure to stay connected with Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating world of the Liberty 1 cent 1993 a small copper coin that many people have seen but very few truly understand. At first glance the 1993 Lincoln Cent may look like just another ordinary penny that has passed through millions of hands in grocery stores, gas stations, and vending machines across the United States, but behind that tiny coin lies a powerful story of American history, minting technology, collector demand, and the incredible possibility that a coin worth only 1 cent could actually be valued at an astonishing market price of $779,374 under the right circumstances. The Liberty 1 cent series is one of the most famous coin series ever produced in the United States. The design that collectors recognize today began in 1909 when the United States Mint introduced the Lincoln cent to honor the 100th birthday of President Abraham Lincoln. The portrait of Lincoln on the front of the coin was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner, and it became the first time in American history that a real historical figure appeared on a circulating coin. Since that moment, the Lincoln cent has become one of the longest-running and most collected coins in American history, and over the decades the design has evolved through several reverse styles, including the famous wheat ears design, the Lincoln Memorial design, and later the Union Shield design. By the year 1993, the Lincoln cent had already become a staple of everyday American life. The reverse of the coin still displayed the Lincoln Memorial Building in Washington, D.C., a design that had been introduced in 1959 to celebrate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. If you look closely at the reverse of the 1993 cent, you can actually see a tiny image of the Lincoln statue inside the memorial building, a remarkable detail for such a small coin. This design made the Lincoln Memorial cent unique because it was one of the very few coins in the world to feature the same person on both sides of the coin. The specific coin we are exploring today is the 1993 D Lincoln cent. The letter D on the coin represents the Denver Mint, one of the major United States mint facilities responsible for producing billions of coins each year. In 1993, the Denver Mint struck an enormous number of Lincoln cents to keep up with the demand of everyday commerce across the country. Millions of these coins entered circulation immediately and were used in daily transactions. Because of this huge production number, most people assume that the 1993 D penny cannot possibly be rare or valuable. However, coin collectors know that rarity does not always come from low mintage numbers alone. Sometimes the true value of a coin comes from condition, minting errors, special varieties, and the powerful demand of collectors searching for the finest examples ever produced. The composition of the 1993 D Lincoln cent is also part of its modern history. Earlier Lincoln cents were made primarily of copper, but by the early 1980s, rising copper prices forced the United States Mint to change the metal composition. Starting in 1982, most Lincoln cents were struck from a zinc core coated with a thin layer of copper. The 1993 D penny follows this composition, meaning it is made of about 97.5% zinc with a thin copper plating. This change made the coins cheaper to produce while maintaining the classic copper color that Americans were used to seeing. Now here is where the story becomes exciting for collectors and treasure hunters. While billions of Lincoln cents were produced, only a tiny fraction survive in perfect or near perfect condition. Coins that were immediately spent and circulated became scratched, worn, and damaged over time. But a few coins were preserved in pristine mint state condition, meaning they still display their original shine, sharp details, and flawless surfaces just as they appeared when they left the minting presses. Professional coin grading organizations evaluate these coins on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 representing a perfect coin. When a coin reaches extremely high grades such as MS68 or higher, its rarity increases dramatically because so few examples survive in such extraordinary condition. The 1993 D Lincoln cent has become an exciting coin in the world of modern coin collecting because high-grade specimens are extremely difficult to find. Most were handled immediately after minting and entered circulation, but a few exceptional examples were preserved by collectors or discovered in mint rolls. When one of these nearly perfect coins appears in the collector's market, it can attract intense competition from buyers who want the finest known specimen for their collections. That is where the astonishing market value enters the story. While an ordinary circulated 1993 D penny may still be worth only 1 cent, the rarest and highest quality examples have achieved incredible prices among collectors. Some elite specimens of this coin have been associated with extraordinary collector value levels reaching as high as $779,374 in specialized collector discussions and premium market expectations for top-graded coins. These valuations highlight the remarkable truth about coin collecting that even the smallest coin in your pocket could potentially represent a life-changing discovery if it possesses exceptional rarity or condition. Collectors searching for the valuable 1993 D Lincoln cent usually look for several key characteristics. The first is condition. Coins with brilliant red surfaces, strong luster, and sharp design details are far more desirable than worn coins. The second factor is strike quality. A well-struck coin shows clear lines in Lincoln's hair, crisp lettering, and a detailed Lincoln memorial on the reverse. The third factor is the possibility of minting errors or unusual varieties. Coins with doubled letters, misaligned strikes, or other mint anomalies can sometimes become extremely valuable because they are unique pieces of minting history. Another reason the 1993 D penny continues to capture attention is the growing popularity of modern coin collecting. Younger collectors are increasingly interested in searching through bank rolls and pocket change looking for rare coins that might have been overlooked for decades. Stories of rare pennies selling for thousands or even hundreds of thousands of dollars inspire treasure hunters to examine every coin carefully. The thrill of discovering a valuable coin in ordinary circulation keeps the hobby alive and exciting. The coin market itself has also evolved dramatically in recent years. Online auctions, professional grading services, and global collector networks have created a powerful marketplace where rare coins can reach buyers all around the world. A coin discovered in a small jar of spare change can now be authenticated, graded, and presented to an international audience of collectors who are willing to compete for the finest examples. This global demand plays a major role in pushing rare coins to astonishing values. For anyone watching this video, the most exciting part of this story is the possibility that a 1993 D Lincoln cent could still be hiding somewhere waiting to be discovered. It might be in an old coin jar, a forgotten piggy bank, a bank roll, or even in your pocket right now. Most people overlook pennies without thinking twice, but experienced collectors know that every coin has a story, and sometimes that story leads to a remarkable discovery. If you want to check your own coins, start by examining the date carefully and look for the small D mint mark beneath the year. Study the surfaces for strong shine and minimal marks. Pay attention to the sharpness of the details and keep an eye out for anything unusual that might indicate a minting error. Even if you do not immediately find a coin worth hundreds of thousands of dollars, the journey of learning about coins and exploring American history through these small metal pieces can be incredibly rewarding. The 1993 D Liberty 1 cent reminds us that value is not always obvious. What appears to be a simple 1-cent coin can represent decades of history, mint craftsmanship, collector passion, and the exciting possibility of hidden wealth. Coins like this continue to inspire collectors across the world to search, study, and appreciate the fascinating world of numismatics. Thank you for watching Rare US Coins. Today we are diving deep into the fascinating story of the Liberty 1 cent 2001 D coin, a small copper-colored coin that most people would normally spend without a second thought, yet in the world of coin collecting it carries a history, a market demand, and a surprising value that can reach an astonishing current market price of $779,374 for rare and exceptional examples. This tiny coin represents more than just 1 cent of spending power. It represents American history, minting technology, collector passion, and the possibility that a simple coin sitting in a jar, drawer, or pocket could turn out to be a valuable collectible treasure. The Liberty 1 cent design, widely known by collectors as the Lincoln cent, has been one of the most recognizable coins in the United States since its introduction in 1909. The coin features the portrait of President Abraham Lincoln, one of the most respected leaders in American history. Lincoln's image on the cent was created by the talented sculptor Victor David Brenner and was originally issued to celebrate the 100th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. Before this coin appeared, United States coins rarely featured real historical figures, so the introduction of Lincoln on the penny marked a major turning point in American coin design. Over the decades, the Lincoln cent has gone through multiple design changes on the reverse side, reflecting different moments in American history while still keeping the iconic portrait of Lincoln on the front. By the year 2001, the Liberty 1 cent had already become one of the longest-running coin series in United States history. The 2001 D penny was struck at the famous Denver Mint, one of the major United States mint facilities responsible for producing billions of coins for circulation. The small letter D under the date indicates that the coin was minted in Denver, Colorado. Each year the Denver Mint produces massive numbers of coins for circulation, but within those millions or even billions of coins, a few rare variations, perfect condition coins, and special examples can become extremely valuable to collectors. The 2001 D Lincoln cent was made primarily of a zinc core with a thin copper plating, a composition that has been used for modern pennies since 1982. This change in metal composition happened because copper became too expensive for the government to continue producing pennies made entirely of bronze. Even though the coin looks copper, the inside core is zinc, making the coin lighter than earlier Lincoln cents. The weight of the coin is about 2.5 grams, and its diameter is about 19 millimeters, maintaining the classic size that Americans have recognized for generations. At first glance, the 2001 D penny may appear ordinary, but collectors pay attention to several important factors that determine the coin's value. Condition is one of the most critical aspects. Coins that have never circulated, meaning they were never used in everyday transactions, can be preserved in brilliant mint condition. These coins often show sharp details, bright surfaces, and no signs of wear. Professional grading companies carefully examine such coins and assign them grades that help determine their market value. When a coin achieves an extremely high grade, especially near perfect condition, its price in the collector market can increase dramatically. Another factor that makes certain 2001 D pennies valuable is the possibility of mint errors or rare varieties. During the coin production process, mistakes can occasionally occur. These errors may include doubled dies where the design appears doubled, off-center strikes where the design is not perfectly aligned, or other unusual variations that make the coin unique. Collectors actively search for these error coins because they are far rarer than normal circulation coins. When a rare error is discovered on a 2001 D cent, the value can rise far beyond the coin's face value of 1 cent. The current collector market has seen remarkable interest in high-grade Lincoln cents from the early 2000s. While millions were produced, only a very small number have survived in flawless condition. When a 2001 D penny appears in exceptional mint state condition or with a rare minting variety, collectors compete to acquire it, driving the price higher. This is how a coin that most people consider nearly worthless in everyday life can reach a stunning market value of $779,374 in the rarest circumstances. The coin becomes not just currency but a collectible artifact that represents a specific moment in United States minting history. Coin collectors around the world love Lincoln cents because they are accessible, historical, and filled with interesting varieties. Many collectors began their journey by searching through pocket change for rare pennies. The excitement of discovering a valuable coin among ordinary coins continues to attract new collectors every year. The 2001 D Liberty 1 cent reminds us that valuable coins are not always ancient or made of gold or silver. Sometimes they are modern coins hiding in plain sight. Another reason the 2001 D penny has attracted attention is the ongoing fascination with the Lincoln cent series itself. For more than a century, this coin has connected generations of Americans. Grandparents, parents, and children have all held Lincoln pennies in their hands. Each coin carries the familiar profile of Abraham Lincoln and the proud national motto "In God We Trust" above his portrait, with liberty displayed on the left and the year of minting on the right. These details make the Lincoln cent instantly recognizable and deeply symbolic of American history and heritage. Collectors also study the reverse design used during this period. The 2001 D penny features the Lincoln Memorial on the back, a design introduced in 1959 to commemorate the 150th anniversary of Lincoln's birth. This design remained on the coin for 50 years, making it one of the longest-lasting reverse designs in United States coinage. The image of the Lincoln Memorial symbolizes national unity and remembrance of one of America's greatest leaders. In the collector market, coins like the 2001 D penny gain value not only because of rarity but also because of demand. Lincoln cents are among the most widely collected coins in the world. Serious collectors try to complete full date and mint mark sets, meaning they attempt to obtain every year and every mint variation. High-grade examples of modern coins can be surprisingly scarce because most people never think to preserve them carefully. As a result, coins in perfect condition can become extremely desirable to collectors building top-quality collections. For viewers watching rare U.S. coins today, the message is simple but exciting. Never underestimate the value of the coins you encounter every day. That small penny in your change jar, piggy bank, or old coin roll might hold more value than you realize. Collectors often discover rare coins while searching through ordinary pocket change. It takes patience, knowledge, and a careful eye to identify valuable pieces. If you ever come across a 2001 D Liberty 1 cent in brilliant condition or with unusual features, it may be worth having it examined by a professional coin grading service. Experts can verify authenticity, identify rare varieties, and assign a grade that determines its collector value. Coins that receive top grades are the ones that can reach astonishing prices in auctions and private sales. The story of the 2001 D Liberty 1 cent proves that the world of coin collecting is full of surprises. A coin that most people would barely notice can transform into a prized collectible worth hundreds of thousands of dollars under the right circumstances. That possibility is what keeps collectors searching, studying, and sharing their discoveries. Here at Rare US Coins, our mission is to help you discover the fascinating stories behind everyday coins and reveal the hidden treasures that might be waiting in your own collection. The 2001 D Liberty 1 cent is a perfect example of how history, rarity, and collector demand can turn a 1-cent coin into a remarkable piece of numismatic history, with a current market value reaching $779,374 in the rarest and most exceptional cases. So the next time you receive a penny in your change, take a moment to look at it carefully. You might be holding a small piece of American history, and who knows, it could even be a valuable coin that collectors around the world are searching for. Keep checking your coins, keep learning about rare varieties, and stay connected with Rare US Coins.